Hi everyone, my name is Tanya Gorriaran. I'm from Raise in Harmony, and I am a organizer with the task force group through IBF called IBF Breathing Arts. And today we are going to interview Robin Lawley. He is doing a workshop on February 11th, and we're going to do an interview, find out about his workshop, and find out who he is. I know he was a past president of the IBF. He also has started numerous breathwork communities in the UK and in Poland and in Italy. And I'm trying to join him right now, but he disappeared from my screen. So we're going to talk to Robin, find out about his workshop, find out a little bit about him, and talk about the workshop. So here he's coming. He has joined, it seems. There he is, the one and only Robin Lawley. Hello, welcome.
Hello, Tanya. How are you doing?
I'm good. So I was giving you a little introduction. So I know that you've been the past president of the IBF. I know you've helped establish breathwork communities. You currently write the newsletter. But you're going to be our next presenter for the IBF Breathing Arts, which is something we do every month on the second Saturday of the month. And so I want us all to learn a little bit more about you, how you came to be here, and what the workshop is about. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your expertise?
Okay, I'm just adjusting the volume because I don't hear you too well. Okay. All right. So here I am. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, that's better. So my name is Robin Lawley, and I've been working with breathwork for almost 40 years now. Started in the 1980s in the UK, and basically it's taken me all over the world. I've worked with breathwork in many different places, but principally in Poland in the mid-1980s, and then I came to Italy, where I live now, and started rebirthing, as it was called then, breathwork here. And it's been with me ever since. But apart from that, I have many other different interests. And when I first discovered breathwork could change my life, it did change my life. And I started exploring other things which I had not been aware of before. For example, to get more into my body. So I studied things like massage and did rolfing, stuff like this. Then I got into meditation through Buddhism and things like this. And more recently, come back to massage and doing shiatsu and water shiatsu, which is called watsu. Fantastic.
Wow.
And also on my spiritual journey, because really it's a spiritual journey, we're trying to find ourselves. And this short workshop basically is about creating the life we want, finding our true selves.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Of course.
So before you talk about your workshop, I want to know, you titled it Beyond the Daydream. So what is the daydream to you?
Well, the daydream is what we all dream about creating, but we never actually get round to really doing it fully. So, for example, my daydream in the past was actually being a free spirit and not following what other people said I should be doing, but what I really wanted to do. It's not an easy path, if you follow your heart.
Right. And I think everyone can relate to that. We all have daydreams.
but in the end, it's very satisfying. I mean, uh, we are born creators. We are creating all the time. You know, the
Hmm.
problem is that how we deal with our creations. So some of the creations are what we really want, and some of the creations are what we don't really want.
Hmm. So tell me how you've found the ability to trust in the universe to help you manifest your dreams.
Well, it started with little things. It's about coincidences, it's about little things, and if you're focusing on what you want to create, you notice these things, you align with them. You see these are indicators on your creative path. You know, it could be meeting someone, it could be a place where you are, it could be anything at all. It's like signs are there out in the universe if you learn to listen to them. And this
Mm.
is more not the theory and the science of creating, but basically the feeling of
Yes,
creating, you know? So you
yes,
feel, okay, the universe is really helping me get there.
yes.
Um, and
And
if
it
we're too
takes practice.
busy with other things, we just don't notice that.
Right. Yeah, that's a big lesson to come to stillness and quiet yourself down to listen to the subtleties of those signs from the universe. So that's awesome. So, what is your dream right now?
Well, I mean, apart from uh, our Breathing Arts group making this really successful in the world, and we've just started really going out into the world, but also as far as my other passion in life, which is music and writing songs.
Mm.
So probably my next creative, I say, what I want to create is an album of my songs,
Mm.
and by next year. So we'll see.
Hmm. That's great. So, in terms of the workshop, then, are we going to be working towards manifesting these dreams?
Absolutely, yes, of course. I mean, in a 2 hour workshop, we can't really do everything, so we can just touch upon certain things. Um, it will be, you know, because to create, we need to be in our body and not elsewhere. So part of it will be how to get into our body, and breathing, conscious breathing is the way that we do that, amongst other things. So part of the workshop will be actually working to get in fully grounded in our body, because if we're not in our body, we're somewhere else. We're in the past and the future, but we're not here now. So if you want to create really what you want, you have to be here now and see what's going on right now, not thinking, oh, well, maybe one day, or oh, this happened in the past. So part of it is grounding. And we can do that through breathing, through movement, through things like this.
Great. I'm so excited for the workshop. And so, for those who came late, this workshop is going to be next weekend, Saturday, February 11th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 6 p.m. Um, European Time.
Yeah,
So,
European
another
time. Yeah.
thing I want to ask you, so we had talked previously, and you had mentioned tension between, or speak to the tensions and structure between current reality and your dreams. So, what you
Yeah.
have versus what you want. Can you speak a little
Yeah.
bit about that?
Okay. Well, I studied with a guy called Robert Fritz, something called Technologies Creating. I did all the courses and I was an instructor this some years ago. And he's spent his life studying the creative process. And one of the main things is like, uh, number one, you need to have a clear idea of what it is you want to create. For example, maybe some people want to go to the Global Inspiration Conference in Kenya this year.
Mm.
Okay, but how do you do that? So you imagine yourself being there, enjoying it, you know, so you have a full picture of what it's like when you create what you want to create. Okay.
Mhm.
On the other hand, you look at your current reality, which is, well, how am I going to get the money? I really don't know. What's it going to be like? I mean, I have to get vaccinations. Oh, it's a strange country. All of these sort of doubts and anxiety uh, are part of our current reality. Obviously, in that way, this is called structural tension. It's not really psychological tension. It's just a difference between what you really want to create and what you have now. Both
Mm-hmm.
need to be clear. So,
Mm-hmm.
like another example, say, well, I want to have a car. I want to create a car. Okay, so, but what sort of car? Red, diesel, pickup, etc., etc. So the clearer the picture is, the more likely you're going to attract it into your universe.
That's what it sounds like. So the more details we have about what we want in our lives, the more
And
chance.
and quite often we sabotage because it can go either way. We can either create what we want, or we can stay with what we have. And so we really need to balance these two and live with the tension. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not really a psychological tension. It's just the structure of creating. And so
Mm-hmm.
we're going to explore that a little bit because a lot of people, okay, they know what they don't want. I don't want to be ill. I don't want this, etc., etc. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to argue with my partner or whatever it is. But what is it you really want? I want to be fully healthy. I want to have a fabulous relationship with my partner. So there's a difference between negative creating and
Mm-hmm.
positive creating. So this is one thing we need to get clear about because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people spend their time uh, reacting to what they've created. Their subconscious has created according to their past, according to their expectations. Okay. This is not really creating, it's reacting. And
Mm-hmm.
so we need to learn what it is creating. So creating is you're the master of this process. You initiate this process, not your subconscious. Although, of course, your subconscious is a part of you, and
Ah,
you have to deal with that too.
but I love
Uh,
this, Robin. This is great because this is what, we want. So, and as part of IBF Breathing Arts, like that's what we're all about. It's creating using
Absolutely,
consciousness, and I so can relate to being reactive and being a negative mindset because we hear no so often, but I
yeah,
want this to be a big fat yes, like yes to what you want, yes to
absolutely.
the dream, to what you want to manifest. So I'm so excited for this workshop.
Okay.
So what else do we have to look forward to?
Well, I mean, I would just add that we need to learn to be honest with ourselves. We need to observe ourselves. So there's this meditative aspect, like what's going on there, to be honest with ourselves. I mean, we should do some breathing. We should do some voice work. We should do some dancing, and we should do some simple written exercises. So between what we are going to be getting down on paper, because when you put something to paper, you're bringing that into reality. So if we just talk about it, okay, it's great. But when you put something to paper, for example, uh, one simple thing would be, for example, um, where am I going to be in 1 year's time? And you write a letter to yourself. This is me in 1 year's time. You put it in the post and you receive it through the post. No one uses the post because it's email, but maybe you could use the post. And so you receive that through the post. It's a way of supporting yourself. When you support yourself in this way, the universe will support you. There's uh, no holds barred once you begin this process. So it's about clarity. It's about trust. It's about believing in yourself and following your heart. The universe wants to satisfy you. It wants to give you what you want. But if you don't put out really what you want, it will give you what it
Mm-hmm.
thinks you want, which is
Or
not
what?
always exactly what you're
Right.
expecting.
Right. Or what you think you want. Because sometimes we listen to the brain or the ego instead of really tapping into our hearts and our wombs where the wisdom really is. So
Yeah,
I'm sure with this workshop we'll be able to tap into that real truth of what it is that we
I hope
want.
so. I mean, I'm really looking forward to sharing some of these things with everybody, and I can't wait. So
Yeah,
just a few more days and we'll be there. So
great.
if you're listening into this live program, please follow IBS Breathing Arts. We're on Instagram, obviously, but we also have a website and Facebook page, and come and join us.
Yeah.
Uh, what more can we say?
Yeah, so you can register with a link on our page, and it's any donation. So you can donate $1, you can donate $100, whatever's in your budget, whatever you feel comfortable with. But please join us. We have an exciting lineup with Robin, and we have multiple people coming up in the future. We have Tom from Draw Breath coming in May. We have Krista Gilda Werner coming in April, so we're very excited about that. And obviously Robin up next with Beyond the Daydream, which I'm so excited for. And if anyone's interested in joining our group, please reach out to us at IBF Breathing Arts, and we would love to collaborate. All right.
I would just like to just add one more thing. I mean, we're part of the International Breathwork Foundation, which is a non-profit organization. So if you do give donations, it's not going to anyone, but it's supporting the work that we are doing in spreading breath work, conscious breathing through the world. And if you go onto the IBF website, which is ibfbreathwork.org, you can see some of the other initiatives which the IBF is doing. And I invite you to do that. So, hope to see you Saturday in 10 days, more or less.
All right. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot.